The Richest Man in Babylon is a classic personal finance book written by Clason in 1926. The book is a collection of parables set in ancient Babylon and uses stories to teach readers about financial principles such as saving, budgeting, and investing, a must-read for anyone wanting to truly master the concept of money. The book delivers financial tips in a very strong way by wrapping them into amazing stories. What's more, you can read them all individually, which means you don't have to read the book in one go to get the most out of it. Fantastic! But if you're still more of a video or audio person who doesn't want to spend time reading every story, then stay tuned as we summarize this masterpiece for you. There's a lot to unpack from this book. However, the framework with which Clason provides his tips makes it easy to enact into your own life. So if you're looking for ways to increase your wealth and live an overall richer life, one ancient society might hold a key. Even though this book was published back in 1926 and is based on lessons from millennia ago, it's still so relevant today for women who want to take control of their finances. So let's go over how the teaching from ancient Babylon could be your path to success. You might be thinking, what makes the Babylonians so great that we should still be listening to their advice? As Clason explains at the beginning of the book, they had one of the richest societies in the world. The impregnable walls surrounding the city were 320 feet tall in some places, keeping citizens protected from pillaging armies. This allowed them to grow their wealth in peace and prosperity. While the tales Clason weaves in this book are obviously fiction, the lessons behind them are visceral and impactful. If you take the advice to heart, the quotes throughout the book may change your life. In the first chapter, a historical sketch of Babylon, the author explains that Babylon is noteworthy for its contributions to engineering, math, astronomy, written language, agriculture, and finance. He claims that this Mesopotamian city was the first in the world to use money, as well as private property and promissory notes or loans, making it significant from a financial point of view. In the first parable, the man who desired gold, two friends named Bunser and Kobai work tirelessly but are not financially secure. They decide to go for advice from their old friend Arcad, renowned for his wealth in spite of his humble origins. In the second parable, the richest man in Babylon, Arcad greets his friends warmly and shares his knowledge with them by explaining that he was once a poor scribe who struggled to save his income, then went to a wealthy local Algamish to ask for advice. And he told him to always save 10% of his income, and then to make those savings multiply through investments. Although Arcad makes a foolish investment and loses his first year of savings, he continues to follow Algamish's advice and soon becomes financially secure. Later in life, Algamish becomes impressed by Arcad's work ethic and sound financial management, so he invites him to manage his estate. As a reward for Arcad's service, Algamish makes him one of his heirs, which secures Arcad's status as a very wealthy man. In 7 Cures for a Lean Purse, King Sargon of Babylon asks Arcad to share financial advice with groups of students so that his valuable knowledge is disseminated throughout the city. He agrees to share his 7 cures with people lacking in funds, and, as taught by his mentor Algamish, he says that the first cure is to always save 10% of your income. You can use the other 90% to pay your bills and other expenses, but this 10% is for you to save and invest. It's important to understand that by saving and investing, he doesn't mean investing in a new phone, upgrading your wardrobe, or spending however you want, but saving money for your future until the time for investing is right. It seems small at first, but gradually you'll start to have a good amount set aside. And Arcad argues that the majority of people won't even notice the missing cash from their budget. The second advice is to manage your spending by understanding the difference between needs and wants. He emphasizes the importance of controlling your expenditures or spending less than you earn. When you have extra money, It's very tempting to splurge and buy fancy items, which in Babylon's case are robes and jewelry. But Arcad makes a great point when he says that what we call necessary expenses always grows to equal our income unless we protest to the contrary. So we literally have to practice limiting ourselves to buying only the things we need and stop wasting money on everything we desire, because the truth is, we'll be able to live just fine without that one additional pair of shoes or a new bag or whatever it is that you just desire and don't actually need. The third cure is to grow your savings through well-researched and reliable investments, therefore making the gold multiply just like the richest man of Babylon. Once you have set some money aside, it's time to put it to work, because when you invest your cash, it can start to reproduce and bring you a steady stream of income and personal wealth. Arcad refers to this as making the treasure work for you. His philosophy is that you make your gold have children who can then also work for you. In other words, take advantage of compounding interest that can grow your wealth. In our modern world, this might be loaning money out or getting interest from a savings account. The fourth one is to carefully protect your savings from gambling or reckless investments. In other words, guard them against loss. The perfect example of this would be those get-rich schemes we see circulating on social media, promising you can get rich from nothing. Those schemes increased by 70% for a quarter in 2020 as compared to 2019, and who knows how much more until today. So the problem definitely isn't improving. They often sound too good to be true because they in fact are, and the book will make it crystal clear for you. Arkad warns us that there is no way to make massive amounts of money overnight, and that it actually takes a lot of time, effort, and knowledge to put into it. So when you think you're ready to invest, make sure you start small, because you need to learn how to secure small amounts before you can handle large ones. He ranks security as the principal fact, better than rapid wealth, and he praises the ability to reclaim your money in case you need it urgently. So the main takeaway from this cure would be to study before you make an investment, so you can be sure it's a clever one, and accept the fact that you won't get rich overnight, but you will get rich eventually. The fifth cure is to own your own home instead of renting, arguing that this will pay off financially in the long term. We all know that buying is far better than renting, and not just because you won't get your deposit back, but because it can actually reduce your overall cost of living and make more money available for your desires. Or as Arcad says, that every man should own the roof that would protect him and his. So instead of just throwing money away on rent, you'll be building equity in an investment. And as you'll learn from the next cure, that can pay off big when planning for future income. His sixth one is to make prudent investments to ensure that your income will continue even when you are elderly. You won't be young forever, and you won't always be able to work. And yet, there's a huge 55% of the employed that plan on working even after they're retired. So make sure you have an income plan for once it's time to retire. Arcad recommends planning for retirement in advance to ensure your treasure and protect your family. Naturally, having a savings account or retirement pension with a lot of money saved up is great, but another amazing stream of income is renting out the property, or hopefully multiple properties, that you bought earlier in life. Either way, coming up with a plan now should ensure your comfort once you're older. And his last but not less important seventh cure is to develop your earning power by becoming wiser and more skillful in your trade. What he means by this is that if you want to earn more, you'll need to develop both your mindset and your skills, and the more knowledge and wisdom you have, the more money you'll be able to earn. For example, if you don't know anything about real estate, then simply don't jump to buy investment properties immediately. Make sure to study the market first, learn all the complicated terminology, and also seek for help from a seasoned investor who can point you in the right direction. By completing all these steps first, you'll become a better investor and increase your ability to earn. So whatever you do, start small and eventually you'll be able to go bigger as you learn and become more capable. From learning about these 7 cures, we can conclude that this book teaches us that our take on luck is what is important. Some people view luck as hitting the lottery or winning big at the slots, but the truth is that's not that true. It's rather about making the most out of an opportunity when it knocks at your door. People who win large sums of money unexpectedly often lose it all because they don't know how to handle that, or they're afraid to spend it so they stash it all away. That's because they're not prepared for wealth and then have personal financial problems. They didn't earn it, so they don't have the habits to sustain it. And that's exactly where luck comes into play. By taking advantage of opportunities without hesitation, we can create our own good luck. For most of us, the number one thing standing in our way is procrastination. You have to be ready to act promptly and decisively. Throughout the book, Clason uses an example of a livestock trader who had a chance to buy a huge flock at a low price. Instead of closing the deal right away, he insisted on waiting until the next morning so he could better inspect the flock. When morning came, other livestock traders heard of the deal and made offers, causing him to miss out on the deal of a lifetime. The moral of the story is that luck flees from procrastination, and in order to attract good luck, you need to take full advantage of opportunities because it's not something you can just wait for to happen. This brings us to the end of today's video. We encourage you to read the whole book so you can learn all the important steps related to finance. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure to hit that bell button to get notified whenever we post. See you soon with another book summary.